Day. Go.
For it now. Yes, you can adjust that now. No, I know, but see, that's why I put the judge here. That's going on. I'd like to hear it. You know what? Because we don't have this freaking plugged in.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Back in our Shelton studio, John Kovach, joined by Don Lane this morning. A whole host of people on the controls for this morning's coffee break. All the news and the information you need to get through your day in southwestern Connecticut. Don, it just feels so different here.
The friendly confines of the Shelton studio.
It is friendly.
It's homey, but there's no tap next to me, so
That is a bit of an issue, yes. It's disappointing, but, the studio's a work in progress.
glad to be back. Glad to be back. We had a great trip up to Cooperstown, and we'll have Rob Adams in to look at the sports schedule, as just about everything was rained out here yesterday. We've got an update on a fire in Milford yesterday. We've got news of a landmark in New Canaan closing down, but first, let's take a look at the roads and the weather with Don.
Okay, well, as far as the roads go, it's a busy day out there on the roads today. Stamford road work on the Parkway North at exit 33. That's going on today until 3 o'clock. The left lane closed there. The left lane also closed in Darien, I-95 southbound at exit 11 until 3 o'clock today. North Haven, I-91 northbound at exit 12 until 3 o'clock. The left lane closed. Expect lane closures also in Danbury on I-84 eastbound at exit 2 until 11:30. And Hartford 91 southbound at exit 29A until 3:13, according to the DOT. The left lane closed there. Checking the weather, a slight chance of showers today before noon, mostly sunny after, with a high near 64. Tonight, clear, low down to around 43. Tomorrow, showers likely mainly after 4 o'clock. Increasing clouds throughout the day with a high near 60. Not much rain, maybe a tenth of an inch. And then a chance of early showers tomorrow night, 39 for the low. Cloudy Thursday. Highs in the 50s, lows back down into the 30s. Right now it is 56 and cloudy in Shelton, 54 in Fairfield, and a blistering 58 degrees in Ridgefield. Coffee break time 11:04.
I'm liking this because I'm starting to overdress when I leave the house.
And you just leave the windows cracked at night, just to kind of get like a little bit of a chill in the bedroom. I kind of like that.
I'm okay with that. So we talked yesterday, we had breaking news around the time we went off the air from up in Cooperstown about two Milford stores that were involved in a fire yesterday. Two of those stores opened for business later that afternoon after the fire. Earlier in the day, around 11:30 yesterday morning, occupants of Liquid Lunch at 85 Broad Street reported that they smelled the odor of something burning. Fire crews arrived to investigate. They found a fire in the adjoining business, the Green Cleaners, also a shoe store there and a pharmacy. Milford Fire Department spokesman Greg Carmen said the fire was confined to the wall and the roof above in the Green Cleaners. Took about a half hour to fully extinguish the fire and check for any extension of the blaze to other parts of the building. All the occupants were able to safely evacuate. No injuries were reported. No word on the cause of the fire yet. Follow MilfordMere.com for updates on that. Your coffee break time's coming up on 11:07.
A landmark New Canaan restaurant will serve its last meal this weekend. Gates's Restaurant, with entrances on Forest and on Main Streets, will close for business at the end of the day, Sunday, April 26th, according to bartender Ash Racy, who said he spoke personally to co-owner Bill Auer. Racy said that another restaurant operator will be taking over the space, but that he did not know who that would be. Rumors of the possible closing of the 37-year-old New Canaan institution have been swirling around town in recent weeks, but were unconfirmed until yesterday. Coffee break time 11:06.
Really one of those places, like if you were going to meet somebody for lunch or for a drink or something.
The place to go.
Going to Gates.
On the gates.
I don't know if it was so easy to say because it had been there for so long, but let's go. We're going to Gates, so it'll be missed. I'll be curious to see what goes in there because Gates was such a landmark.
And what was it, a family restaurant? I mean, I've never been there.
Yeah, but not family,
right? Not like Bennigan's.
Bennigan's or an Applebee's. You could take kids there. You had a lot of families there. They had an au poivre burger that was to die for. You could get the au poivre burger. You get the sweet potato fries. They drizzle molasses on it. Oh, so good. Gonna miss that. We spend a lot of time on this show talking about food, don't we?
A lot of time talking about food or areas where bartenders frequent.
A lot of time set up in breweries or talking about food. In other news, this probably should abut your traffic segment. Godfrey Road in Weston is closed for bridge replacement, and the town expects that Godfrey Road West, which is a main connector between State Roads 53, Georgetown Road, and Route 57, the Newtown Turnpike, will be closed at Pent Road, which is the entrance to Devil's Den, for about 10 weeks, which puts the reopening in late June or early July. Cars, trucks, and buses will be rerouted along Old Orchard Drive and Michael's Way. Traffic may drive on Godfrey Road West between Georgetown Road and Old Orchard and between Newtown Turnpike and Pent Road. Through traffic coming from Newtown Turnpike will need to take Michael's Way instead of Godfrey Road or go over the bridge near Cobb's Mill to access Georgetown Road farther south. Town Administrator Tom Landry sent an official notice about the bridge closing to the Weston Forum Monday afternoon. They'll be updating details and traffic situations on their website.
And speaking of bridges, Route 34 over the Stevenson Dam that connects Monroe and Oxford will be closed in both directions from May 2nd to May 5th, according to First Light Hydro Generating Company, that's the dam's owner, being closed for routine maintenance work on the dam. The roadblock is going to start at 6 a.m. Saturday, May 2nd, and end at midnight on Tuesday, May 5th. Motorists traveling east or west on 34 between Oxford and Monroe should look for an alternate routes. According to a press release from First Light, in an effort to minimize the impact to the public, most of the work will be done throughout the weekend. Traffic will be detoured using State Route 111, 110, and Bridge Street in downtown Shelton. Through traffic is advised to take Route 8 and I-84 to avoid the Stevenson Dam Bridge. Another option is to get on Interstate 84 in Southbury if your commute is taking you to the Danbury or New York State areas. The Valley Independent Sentinel reporting that. Also a press release from the state DOT. So if you're in the area, you're not going to be able to drive over the Stevenson Dam over the weekend of May 2nd. Coffee break time, 11:09.
That gets quite a bit of weekend traffic, does it not?
It really does, because it's kind of a nice drive. You go up along Roosevelt Drive in Derby. It's you're driving along the river, and then you just kind of cut across into Monroe, and then from there you can head off toward Danbury. Just one of the quirks of Connecticut is that is that you have two of the main cities in the state, Bridgeport, Danbury, and really no easy way to get from one to the other. So all of the traffic that goes from one of those cities to the other goes over little two-lane roads through towns like Monroe.
Remind me to mention that on Yankee Fisherman Thursday at 1, because I think that's going to be a route that a lot of fishermen take.
And speaking of Route 8 and Yankee Fisherman, did you see I've been sending out pictures that the Fishaway in Seymour is finally open.
Yes, we mentioned that on last week's show.
Elizabeth and I were walking down there, saw some pretty big fish bobbing in the water there. So
I've got to go see that. I've got to take the camera down and do some filming.
It's pretty neat. I mean, the water. They've got the three gates open right now, so the water is kind of racing through there. But you can watch them like the fish will sort of bob and rest in one little back pool, and then it'll disappear. And if you walk about 15 feet farther up, you'll see them in the next one. So that's it's kind of fun. It's nice. Who would have thought 30 years ago that migratory fish from the Atlantic would be swimming through downtown Naugatuck and up past Waterbury into Thomaston. So
it's a real recovery story, and we'll talk more about that sometime. 11:11. Let's take a look at the roads and the weather, and then we'll step out for a minute.
Well, we have the aforementioned bridge closings and also Stamford roadwork on the Parkway northbound between exits 31 and 33 until 3 o'clock today with the left lane closed. Left lane also closed in Darien 95 south at exit 11 until 3 o'clock today. The DOT also says we've got roadwork in North Haven 91 north at exit 13 until 3, the left lane closed there. Lane closures in Danbury ending in about 20 minutes on I-84 eastbound at exit 5. And Hartford roadwork on 91 south at exit 29A until 3:13. And finally, in Norwalk, the US 7 southbound at exit 3 until 3 o'clock today. That's got the left lane closed there. A slight chance of showers today before noon. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high in the mid-60s. Tonight, clear, lows in the 40s. Tomorrow, showers mainly after 4. Increasing clouds with a high near 60. Just about 1/10 of an inch of rain, so not much there. And chance of showers early tomorrow night. Low of 39. Right now, outside our Shelton studio, it's cloudy, 56 degrees. A drizzly 54 in Fairfield. Cloudy, 58 in Ridgefield. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with a look back at history, local sports, a whole lot more news on the way on Coffee Break.
We're going to do some digging, and what we find may surprise you.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler with one of the largest inventories of new and four-door Wranglers and four-door Wranglers. We're Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our website, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find a new car, minivan, Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Both I-95 or from both I-95 or the Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event. Now through April 30th.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332 and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Back here on Coffee Break. It is 11:16, and it's time for our daily look back in history. We're going to begin on this date, April 21st, 753 BC, the traditional date of the founding of Rome. That, of course, Remus and Romulus there. Tradition has it they were raised by a mother wolf. 1689. William III and Mary II crowned joint king and queen of England, Scotland, and Ireland. Their names, of course, forever bound by the college in Williamsburg that was founded by their charter, William and Mary considered one of the public Ivies as a publicly founded university providing a quality of education claimed to be comparable to that available in the Ivy League, William and Mary has educated U.S. Presidents Thomas Jefferson, James Monroe, and John Tyler, and some other key figures important, including Supreme Court Chief Justice John Marshall, Speaker of the House Henry Clay, and 16 signers of the Declaration of Independence. William and Mary also founded the Phi Beta Kappa Academic Honor Society in 1776. 1836, on this day, General Sam Houston defeats Santa Anna at the Battle of San Jacinto. This battle did decide the independence of the Republic of Texas. Next, 1918, German fighter ace Manfred von Richthofen, the Red Baron, shot down and killed in World War I. Originally a cavalryman, Richthofen entered pilot training in 1915 after a chance meeting with a famous German ace. If you look at the picture there, he's standing next to, that's Richthofen in white, standing next to Hans Immelmann, another very famous fighter pilot in his own right. Despite being a below-average pilot during training, he went on to be officially credited with 80 shot down Allied planes, though he actually shot down quite a few more. Instead of using the risky, aggressive tactics of the time, he observed a set of maxims that he called the Dicta Bulka to assure success. He was not a spectacular or aerobatic pilot, but he was a notable tactician and squadron leader and an excellent marksman. He was shot down while breaking his number one rule of survival: do not fly low over enemy lines. To this day, exactly who shot down the Red Baron is a matter of national dispute.
He was shot down from the ground, was he not?
That is the current theory. I think the Canadians originally claimed that that one of their Air Force pilots had shot him down. He was pursuing another plane while being pursued himself, and it apparently shot down by ground fire. Also on this day, 1984, in France, doctors announced they had found the virus believed to cause AIDS. And finally, in 1986, much ado about almost nothing.
Today, for the first time since it aired in April 1986, here's a portion of the secrets of Al Capone's vaults.
Now, what, if anything, that vault contains, we don't know. This is an adventure you and I are going to be taking together.
But when all was said and done, all I'd found was an old stop sign and a couple of empty gin bottles.
It seems, at least up to now that we've struck out with the vault, I'm disappointed about that, as I'm sure you are.
Then I swallowed my pride and kept my word.
I promised all the critics that if we didn't find anything, I'd sing a song. So, Chicago, that Hovland town. All right, I'm going. I'll see you.
I was humiliated and deeply embarrassed. Then the next morning, the ratings started coming in. And the telephone in my hotel room where I...
Humiliated, deeply embarrassed, he was, and 30 million Americans deeply disappointed that 1986, on this day, Geraldo Rivera opens a vault that had belonged to Al Capone at the Lexington Hotel in Chicago. As you heard, nothing of interest found inside.
That was back in the day. I was in college at the time. Not everybody, you didn't have cable in the dorms. You didn't have good reception. So we went to a eatery to watch Al Capone.
You know, it's amazing how often on the show we talk about...
Yeah, dude, I was talking about...
Here we go again.
We go out a lot on this show, don't we?
Oh,
but
right.
I remember being out watching that and just the atmosphere just becoming more and more almost, are you kidding me? Rob Adams joining us for sports. Rob, your memories of Al Capone's vault?
Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about going out and Oma Gang and, all that. By the way, also, you bring up the Red Baron. How do I not play this? How do I not play Snoopy versus the Red Baron, John?
You have to.
I have to. And Snoopy's right there in studio with you guys. Come on.
That's true. We should have.
We did whiff on that one.
Oh, my God.
So, that's why I'm here. I'm here to back you guys up.
Okay, so next April 21st, we'll say, on this day, 2015, Don and John totally whiffed.
No.
This is our Snoopy is now our Al Capone's vault.
No, we pick each other up here, doggone it. That's what we do. And we enjoy every moment of it.
Wait! I thought our business card said kick them when they're down. That's like right underneath the names.
Well, yeah, there is that. By the way, I do remember seeing the very end of the Al Capone show, the Vault show. I don't even remember what channel it was on. I do remember seeing the very end, getting home from work or a date or who knows what I was doing that night. I'm trying to remember. I was in high school, but
it was syndicated. It was either 9 or 11 in New York.
That's what I thought. For some reason, 5 came to mind, but 9 or 11 could be a good guess as well. But I remember watching the very tail end and going, wait, there was nothing in the vault? Oh, dear God. And so it went from there. So we jump into sports that sadly has nothing to do with Cooperstown, New York at this point, or Omegang Brewery. And I just saw Eric Gendron put the video up of the brewery demonstration that we had yesterday when we were up there. But we start with some stuff from Rocco Veluzzo, and my thanks to Rocco for passing it along. Joel Barlow highs Luke Glidden goes for a kill during a boys varsity volleyball match against Massac on Monday as Barlow won 3-2, winning 20. Well, the scores were 26-28, 25-21, 26-24, 14-25, and 15-13. Here is Barlow head coach Chris Lovelace.
And serve receive as well. You know, we struggled that game 4. I mean, losing 13 points on the first rotation, that's a tough way to start. But yeah, when we give away points, you know, it's tough for us to come out on top. But if we can pass well and we're kind of take away our mistakes, clearly, you know, we can hang in there with the best teams. And I think that Massac played an outstanding game.
New Canaan stayed tough in their boys volleyball match with Darien. The Rams dished out plenty of damage against the Blue Wave, but were eventually edged out 3-1 by scores of 25-19, 20-25, 25-14, and 25-20. Yes, you can say the lower score first in volleyball. It's okay. It was New Canaan's first loss of the spring as it fell to 4-1. Darien remains unbeaten at 6-0. St. Joe's settled down when it needed to and came away with a 3-0 victory Monday afternoon to continue its strong start to the season as they beat Bassac 25-12, 25-21, 25-13. Sarah Dickinson scored 5 goals, and the Wilton High girls lacrosse team held Danbury scoreless for the first 36 minutes of the game as the Warriors defeated the Hatters of Danbury 12-5 on Monday in Darien. The win ended Wilton's 3-game losing streak, improving the Warriors' record to 3-3 on the year. University of Bridgeport right-hander junior Rob Anderson of Stratford is this week's Co-East Coast Conference Pitcher of the Week, sharing the award with Shay Spitzbarth of Malloy College for their outstanding play in games that took place April 13th through 19th. Anderson remained unbeaten on the season at 6-0 and lowered his season ERA to 1.41 with a brilliant 2-hit complete game shutout at LIU Post in a Game 2 of a doubleheader on Saturday. In his 7 innings, Anderson fanned 9 and walked only 1. Now, with everything that happened yesterday, games got moved to today and elsewhere. Amity and Shelton has been postponed to April 28th, but some other games. Trumbull is at Norwalk today in baseball, Stamford at Danbury, Ridgefield at Central, Ward home for Staples, Ludlow is at Bassac, Harding at Darien, St. Joe's at Law, and Trinity Catholic at McMahon. Freiburg, Maine, I believe that is at Darien in softball at 4. That doesn't seem right. It's probably Massachusetts. That should be Massachusetts, I think. Danbury at Stamford, West Hill at Greenwich, Trumbull at Wilton, Central is at Ridgefield, Trinity Catholic home for McMahon, Bassac at Ludlow, and New Canaan at Norwalk. Boys lacrosse, Norwalk, I beg your pardon, at St. Joe's, West Hill at Immaculate. Fordham Prep of New York is at Wilton. New Canaan is at Ridgewood, New Jersey. Ludlow home for Darien, Trinity Catholic at Stratford, and one last game, Ridgefield is at Greenwich at 5 o'clock. We'll have it for you right here on HANradio.com. We can do the rest of the schedule later on. We've got girls lacrosse and plenty more to get to, but we'll step out for now. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time, 11:25.
And we've got Nutmeg Sports set at 2.
We do.
Sounds good. That should be teeing things up for the lacrosse game this afternoon.
Sounds good. We'll set it all up, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right, great. Thanks, Rob. We'll talk to you shortly.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yep.
All right, so back to the news. When a sales associate at Severed Ties Consignment Shop, 111 Cherry Street in New Canaan, saw a regular customer's head bobbing up and down as he ran down the street in front of the store Sunday afternoon, April 19th, the store owner said she felt the need to investigate. Sure enough, when she had caught up to him, he had a painting under his arms that Police Sergeant Carol Ogrink said had just been taken from the store. The associate said, I asked him, what are you doing with our painting? He said he wanted to see it in the light, and I said, seriously, give me our painting. The consignment work, a framed still life oil painting, had a price of $1,050. Arrested and charged with fourth-degree larceny was 74-year-old James Blackwell of 168 Summer Street. He posted bond of $1,000 and faces a court date May 4th. Back at Severed Ties, the store owner, who asked that her name not be printed, said she was very familiar with Blackwell. I think in that first paragraph, when they referred to her as she saw a regular customer's head bopping up and down as he ran down the street, I think the term customer is probably a fairly generous term for if she was very familiar with this particular person.
There is more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And I believe the quote from her is that he comes in all the time, talks to them about the different pieces. Not sure there's a lot of purchasing going on, is the feeling that I got.
The 74-year-old racing down the street with a painting. That's an image you don't get to really enjoy in your head very often.
No, not at all. It's a tough one to get away with. Whereas in Golden Bridge, New York, a woman's been arrested for stealing a bottle of vodka from Golden Bridge Fine Wines around 5 o'clock. March 31st. She was charged on a warrant last week with petty larceny, a Class A misdemeanor. 50-year-old Mary Pagadon of Wakabuck Road had her first hearing last week. She's scheduled to be back in court Monday, May 11th. Police said the store's manager was working during the incident, reported it to the store's owner, who turned over the videotape surveillance footage to Lewisboro police. The report said the video showed her purchase a bottle of wine, then take a bottle of vodka and put it in her purse before walking out. The manager confirmed the store owner's report of the incident. It was a $35 bottle of vodka, Don.
I'm trying to come up with an amusing reference in my head. I was not prepared for a vodka joke. Although we do speak on the show fairly often about going out. No, never mind.
No, we talk a lot about going out,
and in places where there may be vodka in proximity. Two New Canaan men told police April 13th that a female acquaintance they let stay with them allegedly stole cash and checks for hundreds of dollars. The as yet unidentified woman began her stay in March. On or about April 7th, one man noticed $300 missing from his room. He confronted the woman, who denied taking it, then checked his bank records, and he came across a check for $100 that he did not write. Next, he discovered 5 more checks made out to 3 different people he did not know, totaling $390. The other man checked his bank records and found 5 checks with his forged signature for $530. Police say a man likely was part of the scam with the woman and are in the midst of an investigation.
Milford police have charged a 45-year-old New Haven woman with embezzling money from her employer. Lori Merritt allegedly stole $32,847 by signing her supervisor's name on company checks while employed as an office manager. She is alleged to have signed her supervisor's names on company checks at Walsh Construction, 500 Bick Drive. Merritt is charged with first-degree larceny, second-degree forgery, and criminal impersonation. She was released on a promise to appear in court on May 12th.
And rounding out today's crime reports, a Darien family's SUV reportedly was stolen after they got a driver to take them in the vehicle to the airport, according to police. The vehicle's owner visited the police station Tuesday, April 14th, just before 10, reporting that his 2012 GMC Acadia Denali was nowhere to be found. The SUV, which that year was in the mid-size class, is valued at $35,000. The man told police he and his family hired a driver to shuttle the man's wife and 2 daughters to the airport that morning in the Acadia. The driver was expected to return with the SUV to the family home, which, as it happens, is in the neighborhood adjacent to the Darien Police Department, around 11 a.m. The driver was to give the vehicle's keys to the house cleaner, according to the residents of this statement. Police said they spoke to the driver, who told them he picked up the mother and daughters at 9 on Tuesday morning, went to the airport, then returned to the residence at 11 as he anticipated, but the house cleaner wasn't there. He said that in that case, he'd been instructed to leave the SUV's keys in the mailbox, and he did so, according to police. However, police said they've learned the house cleaner was at the residence until noon. Further, the cleaner told police that while she was there, she never saw the SUV in the driveway. Police are continuing to investigate what happened to the GMC. The vehicle is equipped with an OnStar security and communication system, which can be used to track a vehicle's location, police said. In order to do that, Detective Mark Capelli said the OnStar account apparently has to have been activated, but this one has not been. So, coffee break time, 11:31.
That one just leaves me scratching.
It's a mid-sized SUV that year. It was considered a mid-sized SUV.
Yeah.
Just
good to know. It's still pretty big.
I don't think it's like the actual Denali. That's like the step below a Suburban in size. I think it's like not what you would call compact.
The Denali, which is a step below a State.
Yes. Well, that's a great thing about having a Suburban. You know, it's a lifestyle vehicle. Whatever you're into, you can just throw it in the back. You like fishing? Throw your stuff in the back. The canoe, whatever.
The river, everything. Oh boy. And then to just, I'm torn on that story. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. And how do you think you're going to get away with it? You get hired to drive them to the airport and take the car back.
Right. They've got your name and contact information on a contract.
One would think. What's new on the roads?
Well, other than a random GMC Acadia Denali being...
Well, there's that.
there is that. Other than that, not too much new on the roads in the last few minutes. We have roadwork in Waterbury just started up. 84 westbound at exit 23 in effect today until 3 o'clock. The right lane closed. Also, Fairfield Parkway southbound at exit 44 until 3 o'clock. The right lane closed there. And in Westport, 95 north at exit 17 until 12 noon, so just another half hour or so there. The left lane closed as far, and then checking the weather. Chance of showers today, ending after noon, mostly sunny with a high near 64. Clear tonight, down to around 43. Tomorrow, showers likely, mainly after 4. Increasing clouds with a high near 60. Just about 1/10 of an inch of rain expected. Chance of showers early tomorrow night, 39 degrees. And a cloudy Thursday, highs in the 50s, lows back down into the high 30s. Right now, it's, well, you can't tell from the studio, but it is clearing up. And
it's clear. It looks like the sun's out.
59 degrees outside our Shelton studio. Partly sunny in Fairfield, 59, and 57, and clearing in Ridgefield.
Okay. After these words from lots of characters, Colby's in the Doc Shop, we'll be back with more news. This is your coffee break presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at docshop.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersam at 203-417-5199.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
Welcome back to your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersam Acorn Network. John Kovach with Donald Eng in studio, Kate Chaplinsky working on the Trumbull Times. Rob Adams will be joining us shortly with a sports update, crime update. This just being sent out by the Greenwich Police Department at 1:30 yesterday afternoon. A 2013 Mercedes-Benz GL 550 was stolen from central Greenwich. The vehicle was left with the doors unlocked, and this emphasis was added to the tweet by the police department. Both, all cap, sets of keys within, paren, really, end paren.
The GL 500, which was classified as a full-size vehicle that year.
You know what I classified the GL 550 as? Expensive. How about out of my price range?
I'm trying to think of the 550. I think is that the V12? The 550 model. I'm trying to think. I'm not up on my current Mercedes nomenclature. And the other thing that I'm finding is, after having been away for a week, I'm noticing they've taken the scrims off of these mics. We have the covers on them now because it obscured the faces of the of the hosts. The scrim, by the way, is the that little foam that screen that was in front of them that was on an arm, and it is actually preventing me from partaking in my very favorite hobby in the radio studio here, which is fighting with the scrim. Which,
so what do you do?
In the days before we had video in here, that was like a constant source of irritation. If you were listening to the show, you could hear the thing hitting my head. You could hear it hitting the desk. Well, my adversary has been vanquished.
The GL 550 4MATIC. This is the 2015 model. It was a 2013A that was stolen. Is a 7-passenger SUV.
All right, classified as a full size.
It is a voting district.
Both sets of keys left in the vehicle.
The Precinct by Chevrolet.
Joanne Keating, the Director of Finance and Operations for the Weston Public School System, is leaving Weston and has accepted the same position in New Canaan. She will begin her new position in July, according to a statement released by Louis Bray, Director of Human Resources for the Weston School District. Keating joined the Weston administrative team in 2006, and she has implemented some creative cost-saving solutions, improvements to the campus grounds and buildings, and maximum transparency in the school budgeting process, Bray said. Weston Public Schools will immediately begin a search for a new Director of Finance and Operations to begin work this summer. Coffee break time, 11:39.
Fairfield Republican State Representatives Brenda Kupchak and Laura Devlin both voiced their opposition to using any state tax money to fund a new minor league baseball stadium in the city of Hartford. The legislature's Finance Committee held a public hearing Monday on a proposal that would allow Hartford to take revenue from the state's admission tax on tickets sold at the ballpark and put it towards stadium construction debt. Basically, the state would not get its cut of the ticket sale. That would be turned over to Hartford on a deal that state lawmakers had no say on. Gets back to Josh Fisher's point on Behind the News when we discussed this. You should give the state legislature any say on anything in Hartford, some might argue, because so much state tax money goes to it. When the stadium deal between the minor league team owners and the city of Hartford was announced last summer, Hartford officials assured the state that they had secured private funding for the project and were intending to get state approval to levy their own ticket tax. Devlin, a member of the Finance Committee, attended the Monday hearing. She expressed frustration that it is even being discussed in bad budget times. She asked why taxpayers outside of Hartford should pay higher taxes or receive fewer services just to cover the cost of a venture that will see a baseball team move from one community to the next. The New Britain Rockcats moving from an existing stadium in a sports plex, if let's call it what it is, Willowbrook Park. It's got a football field, track, plenty of parking, a fine stadium, and moving it to Hartford. Kupchak said she has been receiving calls from her constituents about state money going toward the stadium that will house the Hartford Yard Goats.
If it weren't for the fact that they have that the Yard Goat name was voted on really in an act of sabotage by fans like me, it's just you just can. I guess the headline should have been, or the lead should have been, doing nothing to dispel the notion that Connecticut officials.
Call it the Fast Track and name it after that boondoggle or something like that.
The Hartford Boondoggle.
There you go.
Like it.
Yeah.
New Canaan has qualified for an affordable housing moratorium from the state. The necessary threshold was reached when the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, and Town Council last week each approved the $780,000 to be used by the New Canaan Housing Authority to start the next phase of redevelopment at the Millport and Mill Apartments on Millport Avenue. The 33 new subsidized housing units will qualify New Canaan for a 4-year moratorium from the state's 8-30G law, which allows developers to go into a town where less than 10% of the housing stock is deemed affordable and not be restricted by local zoning laws so long as the new development includes a number of so-called affordable housing units. With the moratorium, developers will have to comply with New Canaan zoning regulations even if they offer to include affordable housing. This is considered an important milestone by any municipality that does not want its zoning laws legally circumvented. The 33 new affordable units, mostly one-bedroom, will be built on the north end of the Mill and Millport property across from Mill Pond, where the Housing Authority acquired 2 houses in recent years. The 2 houses will be torn down and replaced by the 33 new units. The project is expected to begin in September and take about 1 year to complete. The $780,000 will be used for pre-development costs related to the new construction, and it comes from the Housing Authority's funds generated by New Canaan, setting aside for affordable housing purposes 0.5% of its general building fee revenue. Coffee break time is coming up on 11:44.
The Ridgefield Playhouse has approached the town of Ridgefield with a plan to take over the Board of Education space at the Venus Municipal Building, paying rent that could approach $180,000 a year. Playhouse Executive Director Allison Stockel told the Ridgefield Board of Selectmen her operation needs more space to survive. As examples, she said her board meets in the hallway, the Arts and Education Coordinator works from home, the grant writer works from home. Under the plan, the school board could be moved to the Venus Building's former VNA space, which Chef's Warehouse is also interested in expanding into, according to the Ridgefield Press, or another location such as a closed elementary school in Ridgefield. Ridgefield First Selectman Rudy Marconi told selectmen that the Playhouse has enhanced the community and provided business for nearby restaurants. Marconi said the Playhouse would likely pay $18 to $20 per square foot, which is close to the $20.56 per square foot rate Chef's Warehouse pays for its office space in the Venus Building. The area the Playhouse is interested in amounts to about 9,000 square feet, Marconi said, so the rent could approach $180,000 a year. The Ridgefield Visiting Nurses Association is putting up a new building off Governor Street and is scheduled to move into it and out of the Venus Building in March of 2016. Stockel said the school board could move that summer from the offices that surround the Playhouse to the former VNA space, allowing the Playhouse to move in. You can read more and follow that story at theridgefieldpress.com. Coming up on 11:45, Don, let's take a look at the roads and then our final break.
Not too much happening new on the roads in the last few minutes. We just have the road work on the Parkway South at exit 44 until 3 o'clock today. The right lane closed. In Westport, 95 North at exit 17 until 12 noon. The left lane closed. And in Waterbury, 84 westbound at exit 23 until 3. The left lane closed there. And we also have the other events we were talking about earlier this morning. Stamford Parkway North at exit 33 till 3. Darien, 95 southbound. So not too much new going on there. Just, if you drive in Connecticut, you know where you're going to be slowing down.
And as we said earlier, too, the Godfrey Road Bridge.
The Godfrey Road Bridge is going to be closed for reconstruction. Also, the Stevenson Dam Bridge connecting Monroe and Oxford will be shut down for maintenance starting May 2nd and ending May 5th. So you're definitely going to want to avoid that area. You will not be able to get across the upper Naugatuck, the upper Housatonic there. As far as the weather goes, a slight chance of showers ending right around noon today. Clearing up, high near 64 tonight, clear 43 tomorrow. Showers likely, mainly after 4 o'clock. Increasing cloudiness, high around 60, just about a tenth of an inch of rain expected. Early showers tomorrow night, 39, and a cloudy Thursday, highs in the 50s, dropping down into the 30s overnight. Right now, outside our Shelton studio, it is up to 62 degrees and cloudy, 59 in Fairfield, 58 in Ridgefield. Coffee break time is 11:46.
We will be back after these messages from SCAP and our presenter, Stratford Orthodontics.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge with one of the largest inventories of new 2 and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our website, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event. Now for April 30th.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332 and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Hersam Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
11:49 on your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics. A little bit late, but we're still getting our Connecticut legs back. Rob Adams joining us for sports. How's the Cooperstown withdrawal? You doing okay?
Oh, boy, I am in withdrawal. You're right. I never thought the drive across the Catskills would be so joyful, and yet it was last night. It didn't. Normally the route I take would have driven me just insane, but I don't know. You're right. There was a glow.
Yeah, I really felt good, the whole thing, the walking on Main Street last night, which I finally got a chance to do late in the afternoon yesterday. You know what, it made me really long to go back, and knowing that that's doable and you know, can be a weekend just made me feel good. It's kind of like knowing there's a place there, because as we've talked about, you know, it's my first time to the Hall of Fame since 1976, so it's kind of neat to see.
Yeah, I still feel bad for you and Eric, but I know you guys will get back. I'm not sure Tracy felt like she was missing a whole lot, although it's just a great town. Even if you're not a baseball fan, it's a great town to walk around. There's only one brand name in the village itself, and that's a CVS. Other than that, you got to go outside of the village before you'll find, say, a branded grocery store or anything like that. So it's a pretty cool place for sure. But yeah, it was great to walk around. If places stayed open a little later, I probably would have just gotten home, because things closed at 5. That kind of did me a favor, so I left even a few minutes after you. let us jump into the schedule for today. Really, a lot of things from yesterday moved to today. We have lacrosse coming up in a little while as Ridgefield will take on Greenwich down at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich. That's a 5 o'clock game. We'll have it for you right around 4:50 with our pregame coverage here on HANradio.com and streaming live along the Hersam Acorn Network. Baseball today, one game we know that's been moved. Amity and Shelton has been postponed to April 28th. Elsewhere in baseball, it's Trumbull at Norwalk, Stanford is at Danbury, Central home for Ridgefield, Staples at Ward, Ludlow at Bassick, Harding visits Darien. They've got the turf, no problem there. St. Joe's at Jonathan Law, Trinity Catholic is at Brian McMahon. Softball, it's Freiburg at Darien, it's Danbury at Stamford, West Hill at Greenwich, Trumbull at Wilton, Central at Ridgefield, Trinity Catholic home for McMahon, Bassick at Ludlow, New Canaan is at Norwalk. And good for Norwalk and McMahon that they had a day to kind of catch themselves back up after being in Cooperstown over the weekend. Boys lacrosse, Norwalk is at St. Joe's, West Hill at Immaculate. I told you about Ridgefield and Greenwich. Fordham Prep New York is at Wilton. Ridgewood, New Jersey is hosting the New Canaan Rams. Darien at Ludlow. And Trinity Catholic is at Stratford. Girls lacrosse, McMahon at Darien, West Hill at Staples, Ward home for Stamford, Greenwich Academy is at Greenwich. That's at 4. New Canaan at Norwalk, Ridgefield at Ludlow, Southington at Trumbull as well. One note about that Greenwich Academy game, I would imagine that will be on one of the other turf fields because Ridgefield Greenwich is scheduled to be at Cardinal Stadium. Boys track and field, it's Bassick and Trumbull at Darien, West Hill and St. Joe's at New Canaan, Stanford and Norwalk at Staples, McMahon home for Ward and Central, Wilton and Harding at Danbury. Girls track and field, Ward and Central at McMahon, Bassick and Darien at Trumbull. Now boys tennis, Stanford at Danbury, McMahon at Staples, Ludlow at Trumbull, West Hill is home for Norwalk, New Canaan at Ridgefield, Darien at Ward, Trinity Catholic at St. Joe's, Wilton is at Central. Girls tennis, Staples at McMahon, Trumbull at Ludlow, West Hill visits Norwalk, New Canaan home for Ridgefield, Stanford home for Danbury, Ward at Darien, Trinity Catholic hosting St. Joe's, Central is at Wilton. There's more. Got plenty of boys golf for you. Staples and Ludlow taking one another on. Norwalk, McMahon, and West Hill all playing at E. Gaynor Brennan. It is Stanford and Ward at Brooklawn, New Canaan and Ridgefield at Ridgefield Public. It is Bassick, Central, Harding, and Wilton at Rolling Hills. Greenwich and Trinity Catholic at Sterling Farms. Danbury and Darien at the Country Club of Darien, and St. Joe's and Trumbull at Tashua Knolls. Finally, girls golf. No, actually, one more beyond that. Greenwich and Staples at Longshore. Darien at Ward at Smith Richardson. Trumbull and Ludlow at Smith Richardson as well. And New Canaan and Darien at Richter Park. And finally, Harding and Trumbull in boys volleyball. I felt like I was getting close to a which doesn't belong and why, John.
Which doesn't belong and why?
Wouldn't have been bad to do. Let's see. Which doesn't belong and why? A, Babe Ruth. B, Ty Cobb. C, Marty Hersam. Which doesn't belong and why?
Oh, boy.
I don't really have an answer. I just wanted to throw Marty's name into that mix. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time, 11:54.
Thanks, Rob. We will talk to you later.
I believe so. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay.
Updating a story we brought to you yesterday from the Wilton Bulletin. This involves court action in the death of a Wilton boy riding his dirt bike. Juvenile records unsealed as part of a civil agreement in a case regarding the death of Nicholas Pariseau showed that John Tully Knight entered an Alford plea during the 2013 criminal proceedings in the case. Knight was sentenced to 3 years probation as punishment for criminally negligent homicide. An Alford plea allows the defendant to maintain innocence while acknowledging that the evidence presented would likely result in a conviction. For the period of probation, which should run until 2016 according to the Bulletin, Knight was allowed to move to North Carolina with his parents, where he will be required to perform 100 hours of community service each year. He will submit to bi-weekly urinalysis, attend Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous for the duration of probation, and attend individual therapy. He is also prevented from contact with the Pariseau family. As part of a civil deal reached by Pariseau's parents, Ricardo Pariseau and Catherine Throckmorton, and Knight and his parents, Knight admitted at Stanford Superior Court Friday, April 17th, that he caused the death of Nicholas. The terms of the deal allow certain aspects of the juvenile case against Knight. These are generally kept sealed. This deal allowed them to be made public. Knight, who had his hair tied back in a bun and spoke in a near whisper during Friday's procedure, was 11 years old when, in 2008, he tied a rope across a dirt bike path frequently used by Nicholas, who had been given legal permission to ride in the area. Nicholas struck the rope that was tied across the path on June 13th, subsequently died from his injuries. During proceedings, it was noted that the rope was placed just after a blind corner, rendering a, quote, sudden and unavoidable, unquote, trap for any dirt bike rider who came across the path that day. So details coming out yesterday in the punishment as the juvenile records in the Wilton dirt bike death case are unsealed. Coffee break time's 11:56. What else is in the news, Don?
Well, Runya's son, an industrial design major at the Shintaro Akatsu School of Design at the University of Bridgeport, won the grand prize at the 2015 New York International Auto Show, and 2 other SASD students took home 4th and 5th place. The competition was held at the World Traffic Safety Symposium, one of the featured industry events at the auto show, which is being held at the Jacob Javits Convention Center in Manhattan. The show is one of the biggest in the world, attracting an estimated 1 million visitors, including media, auto executives, designers, and other professionals. Sun took home the $4,000 award for his entry, Distance Sensor. It was designed for an often overlooked accidents that occur when car doors are opened while a car is parked. The sensor works by activating proximity parking sensors on the side view mirrors and bumpers as soon as the driver turns off the car. Timed to operate for 60 seconds after the car has been turned off, the sensors can detect the movement of pedestrians and vehicles and will prevent doors from opening for 5 seconds when motion is detected. If nothing is detected, the doors will open normally. So interesting automotive safety enhancement there coming out of a student making $5,000 for himself for a safety enhancement for a vehicle.
It does me good to see the University of Bridgeport getting some props in industrial design. Always a big major there when I was at UB. Good to see it getting back in. And those are some very creative and needed safety changes in automobiles.
Oh, they really are. I mean, I used to ride a bicycle quite a bit, and you're always, whenever you see someone park their car and turn the lights off, you're always watching out because the car door is going to come open, and there you go. So good job, Runya Sun.
News from Lewisboro that despite the efforts of repair crews from both the New York State Department of Transportation and Lewisboro Highway Department, many area roads remain in bad shape. I can attest to that, having been to Cooperstown for the weekend. And there is some confusion about whose job it is to maintain the roads, such as Route 35 from Adams Hill Road to 121 South and Cross River.
Did they just put the road in yesterday? They have no idea whose job it is?
Well, no, they know who it is. It's residents who are confused. Lewisboro's Highway Department Superintendent, Peter Ripperger, basically says if the road has a number on it, then maintaining it is the state's responsibility. But he is urging residents to be cautious and patient. When it's cold, they can only cold patch the potholes. That's a temporary repair. As it warms up and the asphalt plants reopen, then they can do more permanent repairs. Interesting story on that at lewisboroledger.com. That's going to bring us to the end of our coffee break for today. Tuesday, April 21st. We will be back tomorrow.
One of us will be.
One of us will be. We've got lacrosse this afternoon. 5 o'clock start. Nutmeg Sports at 2. Thanks for listening to Coffee Break on HANradio.com, streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersam Radio, on Facebook at Hersam Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersamacorn.com.